Tanner Ellsworth, how are you?
Good
Uh,
evening,
y-
Dr. America.
yeah, thank you. Tanner and I go way back. In fact, we go back how many years? 44 years
43
almost.
years.
43, almost 44 years. Yeah, we've known each other a long, long time. In fact, from the day he was born, I actually knew him.
Yeah, you were there, huh?
Because I was cuddling him in my womb before he decided to enter this world. And he has always been a special person. And anybody who meets him has commented to me how kind, supportive, attentive that he is. So it only seemed fitting that when we were searching for financial services advisors, that we
Mm.
would approach and ask our own son. And this is over 15 years ago. And he has been creating a wonderful addition to our financial services company, but also his own as well. So tell us a little bit about how you serve people, what your philosophy is. I am so pleased and happy that you accepted the invitation to become one of the Success Magnet coaches, because in my opinion, people need to know where to go to a hub that they can go to where they can find meaning in their life, in all areas of their life, and how to really increase the success in all those areas: health, education, relationships, opportunity, spirituality. You fit smack dab into that opportunity side of it. So tell us about that, Tanner.
Absolutely. Well, I tend to think that finances are among all of those different things that you focus on a success magnet, like spirituality, health, um, you know, growing in all these different facets of your life. I almost tend to think that finances are something that people want to get out of the way of of their growth and other things. Like I've been a financial advisor or in the financial services industry for like 14 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking as you were talking, I'm like, yeah, we've known each other for 43 years since I was in the womb. That's roughly about the time that our professional relationship started as well.
Started.
Been
Okay.
working together for quite a while.
And I think, yeah, because as a mother, then I'm going to try to impart as much knowledge as I possibly can, and hopefully it lands, and hopefully it's good.
Well, I think that you'd agree that for most people out there, yes, financial success is part of success. But really, what it is in most people's minds, I think, are they don't want to have to worry about the
Mm,
finances.
right.
I think the longer that they want to do what they want to do in life, it's not
Hmm.
like finances are a mean. The finances are a means to an end. They're not the end. And for a lot of people, what that means is they don't even want to think about their finances. They want to
Hmm.
focus on their family. They want to focus on for the people who are taking advantage of Success Magnet, focusing on personal growth and the growth of their family and becoming better leaders and things like that. And they don't want the finances to get in the way of that. So as a financial
Hmm.
advisor, I came to the conclusion after a while. It's like people think probably what I do is like, I put on my glasses or something like that and I get on my computer and I try to find out which stocks are doing the best and things like that. And of course, that's part of our job. But more and more, I kind of think of our job or what I do as giving people peace of mind and giving people the leeway and the ability to be able to do what they want to do and pursue what they want to pursue in their lives without having to think too much about finances. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
I've interviewed a lot of financial advisors. In fact, my PhD really circled around this industry. So I interviewed, I think, 35 different financial advisors for that dissertation. And I don't know that I've heard anybody voice it the way you did. That way, people just literally, yes, they want money because they don't want to worry about money. They want to get it out of the way. And so that's where you come in to provide that peace of mind. So I've heard you talk a little bit before about the foundation and like building a house in your, for your retirement planning. Tell us a little bit about that and how that figures into kind of the general everyday person.
The retirement house is a good framework for people to be able to think about, not necessarily just their retirement, but for the foreseeable future
Mm.
of their finances. Okay, so let's say your retirement or even your current financial picture is a house. Okay, the foundation of the house is your fixed income. If you're still working, then the foundation of the house is your income that you're actively making from your job or your business. Okay, in order to have a house and in order to build a solid financial structure in your life, you have to have a solid foundation. And that
Mhm.
starts with an ongoing source of income. Okay. In order to have a house, you also have to have a roof. If you don't have a roof, you don't have a house. If the
Right. You have to be protected
foundation
from the elements, right?
from the elements, yes, you know a little bit about that over there in Florida, don't you?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, the if the foundation of the house is your fixed income, whether in retirement or whether you're or while you're still working, the roof of the house is your emergency fund, or I call it the uh-oh fund sometimes. You need to have a rule of thumb that I kind of learned from Dave Ramsey, was that you want to have 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. What I mean is an amount equal to 3 to 6 months of expenses in an
Hmm.
emergency fund. Some people are more comfortable with more than that, which is fine. And we work with people on an individual basis as far as that's concerned. But the point is, you have to have enough in an emergency fund to be able to um, pay for and to be able to cover things that might come up unexpectedly. Okay, so that's the foundation and the roof. A house also has walls. The walls of the house, I look at as money that you put aside for expenses that you might be incurring within the next 10 or 15 years. Okay. So the stock market in the United States, sometimes over a 5 year period, it will have losses. Sometimes even over a 10-year period, it will experience losses. The stock market in the United States, though, has never had a period of over 16 years in which it has shown a monetary loss.
Mm-hmm.
And that was between 1929 and 1945, which of course encompassed the Great Depression and World War II. So unless things get worse than the Great Depression and World War II, you can be pretty confident that over a 15-year period, you will be making money in the stock market. Okay, but what
Hmm.
about for things that come up in the meantime, like kids' college, or buying a new car, or moving, or kids getting married, or you getting married, or things like that? That money that you have put aside for those eventualities, you can't really put fully 100% in an aggressive strategy. You have to put it somewhere where there's some sort of protection where you can get at it without having to worry about, the volatility in the market, without having to worry that you'd be taking money out when the market is low and losing a lot of money. Now, I kind of say all of those things: foundation, roof, walls, for the last category to say this final thing. Okay. So besides all of those things, you have a house, roof, foundation, roof, walls. But don't you also want like an RV or a pool or a dock behind your house like Dr. America has over there? Look at that fantastic like background over there. It's wonderful. Don't you want
Yeah.
like a river in your backyard?
Not a bad view, right?
This This is the fourth category. I sometimes refer to it as the fund. F
The
U N.
fun
You know?
money.
Yeah,
Um,
right. The fund. Um, we want to put as much money into this last category as possible, and that's like your pool, cabana, mother-in-law suite, RV,
mhm,
pool,
mhm.
dock, etc.
The enjoy life category, right?
The enjoy life category.
Yeah.
This is a simple framework to look at your finances, but if you really think about it, it does encompass a lot, like pretty much anything that you can think of. Okay, well, what about a death benefit for life insurance policy? Okay, well, that's something that you should be anticipating for the next 10 or 15 years. That's kind of why you set it up in the first place. That's the
Mhm.
walls.
Yeah.
Okay. What if I want to go on vacations? Okay, well, that could be part of the walls too, 10 or 15 years. That last category, the pool and cabana category, the fund, that's something where you can put money that you invest aggressively. And the idea is that you put as much money into that category as possible after taking care of the first three categories. Okay.
Because that's
And
where you live day to day. Like they say the present is the present, right?
yeah,
Your present is the present, the gift.
right. Yeah. Right now is a gift. And that's why it's called the present.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh yeah, there you
so
go.
this framework has worked fantastically well for Ellsworth Financial, and I'll give you some
Mhm.
examples. Okay, so in the last couple of years, we've had a couple of crises that have affected the market quite a bit and caused the market to drop sometimes as much as 20%. Well, I know some other financial advisors who they've told me that a lot of what they do is just expectation management. It's like when a
Mhm.
crisis happens, a
Manager.
lot of people call them and they're kind of panicked and complaining. Is like, am I going to be okay? And they're just there to tell them, well, the stock market's going to come back up and things like that. I'm like, well, I think we can invest aggressively. We can make good rate of return without putting people through that kind of heartache. Because what did I say in the beginning? You can put a premium on peace of mind. And I think that that's why we're in this
Mhm.
business. I think one important thing that people want is they don't necessarily want to think about their finances, they want peace of mind. For the last couple of times we've had those crises come about because of this framework of the retirement house that I just described,
Mhm.
none of my clients called me about it. I was kind of waiting by the phone. People call, they're asking about taxes and things like that. But as far as their finances are concerned, if we invest according to that framework, they're not too worried about their finances because they're confident that we've put the correct amount of money in the correct categories. And the money that shouldn't be at risk is not at risk. The money that is at risk, it's fine. They have a time frame in which it can recover. Okay.
What makes you different, Tanner? Uh, Ellsworth Financial, I guess, you decided to start that company, even apart from Hero Strategies, which is a financial services company that, you mentored under. And what makes you different from some of the other advisors or different processes that you've seen? You mentioned the safe investing. Is that something that you focus on as well?
I think it's all part of a picture.
Mm-hmm.
In life outside of financial services, I like to do puzzles. That's one thing I like to do. I don't do puzzles like all the time, but I'm pretty good at actually putting together the puzzles. You find the corner pieces and you find the side pieces, and then put the different parts of the puzzle together. I think that people's financial pictures or their financial situations are a puzzle too. And I like to solve puzzles for people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. It's like when I do puzzles with people, they're like all over the place. They're like, okay, this puzzle is a bunch of Dalmatians. They don't even know where to start. It's like they don't know. I'm like, here's what you do. You put these pieces to side and you look for this and you look for that. And they're just all over the place. Like it would take them 10 years to figure out like this
Mm-hmm.
10,000 piece puzzle or like this
Right.
1,000 piece puzzle, man.
But there's a
Well,
methodology behind it, you're saying.
right, there's a methodology. The same thing in people's financial pictures. I almost always, whenever I talk to somebody, I see that they're misallocated in a certain way, or they are not being aggressive enough, or they're not planning for a certain contingency, or they're gaping holes in their picture. Oftentimes, it's people who are pretty savvy and pretty responsible,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And they don't even
but
see the gaping hole, I guess.
they
Maybe.
don't see it. So what I'm trying to say is I'm pretty good at solving those little puzzles in real life, and I think I kind of have a knack for solving people's puzzles and looking for
Mm-hmm.
the right pieces for people's puzzles. And like you mentioned, there are a lot of products that we use that are particularly effective at protecting people against loss and
Mm-hmm.
asset protection,
Mm-hmm.
oh, and principal protection. And there are different products that are especially effective for growth or for income or for estate planning or
Mm-hmm.
for a tax mitigation, things like that. These
Now
are
you're
all
blowing me away. It's kind of if I'm an everyday person, I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about any of those things. So let's hand it over to Tanner. Right.
well, guess what? It's like I think of okay, so part of success mentorship is taking care of your health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're sick and you want to, know what your blood pressure is, or if you want to know what your A1C is or whatever, you go to a doctor, right? You're not
Mm-hmm.
going to know the things that the doctor knows. Um, there's another type of what I would look at as healthcare professional too, and that's somebody who is a trainer, like in a gym. Well, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times you do know what the trainer has to tell you. You need to
Yeah.
exercise more. You need to do this exercise or that exercise. It's just you're not putting it together as much as the trainer is. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of know the things that they're going to tell you, but first of all, you don't know what you don't know, and that's what the doctor's there to tell you. Sometimes the trainer, well,
And
everything that the trainer is telling you, you do know. It's just you haven't put it together in one picture. You haven't put the puzzle together in one picture yet, and that's what the trainer is there to do for you.
and then they're motivating, and it's like somebody, an accountability partner in a sense.
Exactly. Yep. And that's
And I
part
do
of what.
believe that's what coaching does, is that it helps you to just, hey, you've got accountability. You've got to talk to this person in next week, and we've had an assignment to do. We've had homework to do. Do we complete the homework? It's going to be embarrassing to show up. It's like when you didn't practice your piano before you went to your piano lesson, right? For your
Right.
teacher.
Yeah. I don't know
Uh,
what you're talking about,
I don't know.
Mom.
Right? That never happened over here. But I remember a piano teacher once saying, your son is the most gifted piano player that I've seen. I mean, natural.
He just needs to
And
practice. Yes, Mrs.
that's just
Katz.
it just needs some practice. And I have to say, I have seen you over the years uh, just take other people's money so seriously. I mean, more seriously than you take your own money. And in a sense, you're really all about serving them and making sure that you have all those puzzle pieces in the right place so that they can enjoy their retirement or just even their present time, just to have that peace of mind knowing that their future is taken care of.
Well, money is life, or more specifically, money is people's lives.
Hmm.
I and you might think, oh, Tanner, come on, money isn't life. Life isn't all about money. No, in a very literal sense, people's money is their life because they
Hmm.
traded their life, portions of their life, for those dollars.
For those dollars.
They worked for years in order to create that savings, in order to create that nest egg, that money. So literally, the dollars are represented as a representation of the hours and the days that people have spent working and saving and risking and providing for their family. So I don't mess around with that. I take that very seriously. And especially when I'm dealing with people's entire life savings, I don't make recommendations just willy nilly. There are things that
Mhm.
I want to do my homework, and I want to allocate appropriate amounts to appropriate places and appropriate investments and tools for them.
I've seen you do extensive research, because we also utilize your company's services in helping our clients as well. And I've seen what care you give and analyzing the situation and coming up with options. And I think anybody who works with you is absolutely blessed, and they couldn't have a finer financial advisor in all arenas. So, is there anything, last thing you wanted to say before we wrap this up? I just want to thank you for having this interview with us today.
I'd like to thank you for taking the time, and I'm grateful to be here as myself, Tanner Ellsworth, but also a representative of my company, Ellsworth Financial LLC, and I look forward to doing great things for our clients in the future.
And people can get in touch with you at Tanner at ellsworthfinancial.com, correct?
Correct.
Or also ellsworthfinancial.com as well. Okay, perfect. Thank you and have a wonderful day. It's always a pleasure.
You too. Okay.
And
Bye.
love you, Tanner. Bye now.